Hello and welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to discuss a very interesting topic which everyone is asking nowadays. A question which everybody is asking nowadays is about, is there any free marketing automation tool available? Well, there is one. You might already be aware about the free marketing automation tool. So I'm going to discuss here and take a demo of the tool and show you the functionalities of the tool, whether or not it meets expectation. And to add to that, I'm also going to let you know, based on my experience, what are the hidden costs which are associated with a free marketing automation tool. So let's dive deeper into this topic and let's start the demo. So the tool that I'm going to show you right now is named as Mautic, Mautic. I got to know about Mautic, I think around 3 years back, and it has kept itself updating. It's a very efficient tool. It's a very amazing tool. It has integration with a lot of CRMs, a lot of third-party plugins like Zapier, and all the tools that you would like to have integrate, all the tools that you would like to integrate with your marketing automation system. And but Mautic has both paid as well as free version. The free version needs to be installed on your servers, on your own on-premise storage that you have to do. So that is where it starts with. So you have to understand that there will be a cost associated with if you install it on your server. And in addition to that, what are the other costs that we are going to see? Let's take a look at the tool and the features for now. So right now I'm logged into Mautic, as you can see. This is a tool that you can use for your marketing automation. It's available for free. It has to be installed on your own servers within your premise. But does it have all the features? And that's what we are going to look at. Let's start with the dashboard. I'm logged into Mautic. This is the dashboard. If you want to change the logo, you can change the logo basis depending upon your company brand. This is the dashboard which will give you information about the contacts created. So which means that number of contacts created. It also includes the contacts which have given their email addresses as well as the IP addresses who have visited your website but has not submitted any their email addresses. Just to let you know before we start, there is a code which is available in Mautic which has to be placed on your website, which is very typical with all the marketing automation or sales automation, service automation tools, in which which helps understand the traffic, the contacts created, and everything around a particular contact, and it's very, very critical. So you also get to know the page visits, and you also get to know the forms submitted which you have on your website, and what are the other recent activity which are there. Now let's look at the calendar. Now the calendar is the campaign calendar. So all those things which you have planned, like campaigns, email marketing which is going on, all the social media posts that are going out, it will all be shown here in one glance, and you will be able to see what is going on with your particular tool. Let's get into the contacts. Now here are certain contacts which you can see are dummy contacts. We can click on any of the tool, for example maybe on Michael, and see what's going on here. So Mautic will be able to help you with identifying the company's the person's company, as well as is there any social media account of that company or the individual. Mautic just works like HubSpot in this case. It'll get you the information from the internet, which again is very good to have when considering it's a free marketing automation tool. Now all the activities which have been performed is by this individual, what company the person is working in, everything is here. Like I said, the company is automatically created from the email addresses. So here are all the companies. Segments, this is the test segment. You can create a test segment based on different requirements, because segmentation is the, I would say, heart and soul of any marketing automation or any kind of a marketing. If you are not creating a segment, if you are not creating the sub segments, if you do not know your segments, then it is not going to be that beneficial to have any marketing automation tool or anything like that. So this is where you have your segment. If you want to create, you can create segment. I have just clicked on one of the segments by the name test segment. So these are the filters that you see here. You'll be able to create segment based on the attribution date, if the mails bounce, country, and everything. Just let me tell you that there are detailed tutorials available about Mautic on Udemy as well as YouTube, so you will be able to see that. But from my point of view, this video is going to be around what are the costs which are associated with this tool. So let's talk about the components, all the marketing assets, PDF files, everything that you want to upload, the forms that you want to create. You can also create landing pages. You can also create dynamic content. And if you see, these features are quite advanced features, right? If you want to buy a tool which has all these features, you will actually have to pay a lot. But here you're getting all this for free. The campaigns. Now, campaigns are the ones where the automations are created, right? So when you are creating any kind of an automation, you can, for example, select one segment which we already have, add, and then we can do the if else from here, right? So decision, action, conditions, based on the different criteria, we can create different kind of campaigns. I've seen a lot of enterprise companies also implementing Mautic, and it's quite dense. It becomes quite dense after a certain point of time. So we have marketing messages. This is, I would say, the text messages as well as the push notifications. You can integrate here, emails. Focus item is the pop-up, right? The focus pop-up, like the exit intent pop-up or any kind of pop-up which you want to have. So Mautic calls them focus items. Social monitoring. You can monitor the social media handles. And also get to know exactly what is the intent behind a certain on a certain time period about the brand. Then you have points, like this is like for scoring. So you can actually score the actions. You can score certain triggers, and based on the scoring, you can create for the segments, and then you can send bulk emails or the campaigns based on these points. Stages, just like pipeline. So you can have multiple stages. Automations can come into picture, like campaigns can come into picture, and put the segments or the contacts and under different stages based on their behavior. And then we have reports, and then we also have tags. So these are the features which you would see are also available in most of the, I'll say, most of the paid high-end marketing automation tool. Now, lastly, let's have a look at the plugins. It does integrate with Facebook lead ads, Foursquare, Gmail, as you can see, HubSpot, Salesforce, and I have done the implementation, and I've seen it really works really smooth. And the sync is not just one directional; it can actually be bi-directional based on your request. It's just that once you install this, you also have to install certain cron jobs, and once that is done, this becomes completely functional, right? And one more thing, which is the configuration. So you can connect with your AWS, you can connect with your SMTP, right? You can have all these things, as you can see. These are the options for email settings, form settings, contact settings, segment settings. So you have everything which a typical marketing automation tool should have. I would like to mention one very important point here, which is about the business model that you can cater. In my experience, I have seen both B2B and B2Cs have been using Mautic very, very efficiently. So when it comes to B2C, I'm talking about use cases which are there in, use cases in e-commerce business setup, right? So you can integrate some kind of tool which are available, some kind of third-party integrations you can do. And once you do that, then this becomes a very powerful tool for a B2B setup, wherein you are sending abandoned cart alerts or any kind of email that you want for a B2B use case, a B2C use cases. For B2B and lead generation, you can set it up accordingly. In fact, I think by default, Mautic is set up for B2B lead generation setup only, which you can further change. And there is no limit. You can also develop your internal plugins, and you can associate it with Mautic. So this is what a free marketing automation tool Mautic is all about. So now let's discuss some of the costs which are associated with having a free tool like Mautic with you, for your requirements. Number one is infrastructure and hosting. Now, like I mentioned before, you need to host it on your own server. You need to have this infrastructure which supports the number of visitors or the number of automations or the processing which Mautic would require, like for example cron jobs. In my experience, I have seen that when data increases, when a lot of things start happening inside Mautic, you need to have someone completely on the job, trying to always monitoring if everything is fine with the server. Otherwise, it will also impact your other websites or other assets which you already have on the server, right? So this is one cost of having someone completely monitoring what's going on. Number two is technical expertise. Yes, implementing and managing Mautic may require some technical expertise, because it is for the initial setup and for the initial integration. You need to have someone who knows how to set up a tool like Mautic, as well as the person should also know the server configuration, right, based on the business model or based on the business requirement. Now, third cost would be the integration cost, right? So integration cost is something, if you are integrating it with a CRM, for example, if you are integrating with HubSpot or Salesforce or something like that, that cost would be separate. I mean, that has nothing to do with the cost of Mautic. However, here is a very interesting tip which I would like to give you, that HubSpot can have 1 million database, right? It is actually free. And if you integrate it with Mautic, then Mautic is also free and you get a basic CRM, right? If you want to use HubSpot. But if you go beyond just having the data and also getting into automations or sales automations, then you'll have to have different costs associated with it. Now the third point is training and support. Of course, Mautic does have an active community, but we have seen that the response of the community can become a bit slower, right? It's not as fast, as quick as it can be, or as it should be, right? So if you buy a paid tool, then you get the support, you get the training, you get responses to your queries very easily and very quickly. Now next is upgrade and maintenance. Mautic upgrades itself a lot. I mean, I've seen that it upgrades itself a lot, and it's a very good thing, but it actually leads to a lot of problems, a lot of issues with the configurations, a lot of issues with the existing setup. So you need to again have someone who knows how to manage the upgrades and latest changes that happen inside Mautic. Now, if you talk about scaling, right? Now a business starts with a free automation tool, but it goes after certain time period, it needs to scale up, right? So again, here also you need to have someone either an expert in Mautic and should know exactly how to manage this scaling up, not just server configuration, also Mautic, and also other associated plugins and other assets or third-party tools which are connected with Mautic. So the scaling is something which is very important, because of course no business stays at one position for or at one stage all the time. That being said, the last thing the cost which I see is which I've experienced is the cost of having a developer who knows how to create landing pages, how to create dynamic emails or the email templates inside Mautic. So this is one last cost. So that being said, there are certain costs associated. Mautic is a really good tool to start with, and amongst all these tools, amongst all these costs, in my experience, what I've seen is the server cost is something which is I would say the highest. I mean, it keeps increasing, and you need to advisable would be to have Mautic installed on a completely different server, so that you can manage it separately and it does not conflict with your existing website. Right? So create a subdomain on a different server and then host a Mautic there, so that whatever happens to a particular tool or things scale up, or any change comes up or any upgrade happens in Mautic, does not affect the server configuration and should not affect the other websites or the other assets that you have on the server. That being said, last point from my end would again be, in my experience, a free CRM and a free marketing automation tool, like I told you. If you integrate HubSpot with Mautic, it is a really amazing combination. And then if you also integrate Zapier, the free Zapier version, and HubSpot and Mautic, then it can actually help you a lot, right? So feel free to contact me if you have any use case in mind, and if you think that you would like to work on something like this, I might be able to help. Thank you for watching till here. Take care.